Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Cornell. We're going to take a little lighter version today, talking about project management on a personal level. Join me for a cup. So, I've been involved with project management for a number of years, and I'm sure all of you have as well. Small projects, big projects, projects associated with business, information systems, political campaigns, a lot of different project type of things. One of the more significant and personal projects is that of moving, all right? Everybody's been there at some point in time. You know, it used to be back in the day, you'd grab a couple pizzas, a couple six-packs of beer, and the biggest friends you had, and you'd be in and out of a new apartment in maybe a day, right? Well, so now let's talk about a different level of moving in which I'm experiencing this personally. And so pardon me for a little bit of venting, as well as sharing you some lessons learned from a personal move. Once again, it's a project of trying to sell your house. And there's a lot of different things and components of trying to do that. And think about your house. You've been living there for a number of years, which I have, or your apartment for a number of years, and you've been fortunate enough to collect things, let's say, right? You know, you went here and you got trips, so you have a magnet on your refrigerator from there. You maybe have a glass from a location, you know, those kind of things. Those are small, and of course it grows up to be bigger and larger things because you may have seen something at a flea market that you loved or at an art exhibit, or you got that t-shirt from the concert you went to, you know what I'm saying? A lot of different reasons why you might start to just accumulate things into your space. That accumulation now has to be moved. And so I would submit to you, all that moving is in fact a project. So let me give you a couple of the lessons learned that I've gotten recently from my attempt to have my moving project. The first one, which happened to me so many times, is that if you place something somewhere where it'll fall, eventually it will. So you're going to have to pick it up, okay? I don't know why, you put that there for a moment, maybe not the first time you pass it, but at some point in time, you're going to bump it and pass it, and it's going to fall. Make sure it's not breakable. One of the second things is keep things away from your feet, all right? Because when you think about it, tripping is not a good thing ever, but even that box flap that comes out into your area, that can be cause for a stumble, and if you're carrying something heavy, it could go a lot of different ways, neither of which are good. One of my best ones is to keep newspapers that you read for a while, and perhaps all those boxes you've been receiving from various shippings that you've come in or you've received. Those same boxes and that same newspaper can be used to wrap some of your more delicate items, i.e. things that are going to break, glass, etc. And also the boxes will save you some money because guess what? You can buy those boxes, or you can keep a few of them that are sent to your home every time you receive a delivery, and you don't have to worry about that. Now, the other thing is that once you start moving, and think about it, you're moving boxes, you're moving furniture, you're moving lamps, all that sort of thing, that's a workout. So I would suggest that you make sure you drink enough to hydrate, and make sure you get enough rest. Because as you know from going to the gym, if you talk to a gym or you spend some time there, when you get fatigued and tired is when you do not exercise or move in the right way or the right manner. You start to cheat a little bit. That's where injuries occur. You don't want that to happen to you. And then also talking about furniture moving, it might not be a bad idea to have a tape measure around, okay? Because a tape measure will help you figure out before you lift that sofa or that bed or that whatever, that television, and try to move it around a corner or down a stairway, you can kind of check and make sure that it's going to fit the first time. Nothing worse than trying to get a sofa or something down an area, and all of a sudden you forgot last year that you had to take the door off to make that happen, and now you're stuck, right? You don't want to get stuck moving furniture. A key one, ladies and gentlemen, as a consultant who consults to companies on project management and other things, when you have professionals who are going to help you, hire them, ask questions so that you're clear, and then let them do their jobs and get out the way. All right? because you're being involved with how about this or how about that only questions as regards to coverage. The reason why you hire professionals is because they know what they're doing and they know how to get it done correctly. And when they tell you something, as difficult as it might be, you need to do that so they can continue getting their job done correctly. One of my key ones, and I've always done this, and you might want to consider it as well, my music system or cell phone, as the case might be, is the last thing to be packed, and it's the first thing to be unpacked. Why? Because you need the music. You need the music to keep everybody moving. If you have on your own earphones, that doesn't give everybody the same beat, because somebody might be listening to something really upbeat and moving quickly. Somebody else might listen to something slow and kind of mellow. They're going to slow down. So just like with a DJ, you want to orchestrate the time and the tempo of the move to keep everybody moving, okay? And then one of the last ones is ask your friends for help. Some of them will come through, some of them won't. Don't exclude them if they don't come through for you. Just remember that when they call you, you're not available to help them move either. And the last one, which is sometimes difficult, sometimes easy, is that all the things that you encounter, all your cherished items, all those whatever you received from the various locations you've traveled, you have to then decide what you want to keep, what you want to donate, what you want to sell, and those things that in fact get tossed, okay? Those 4 categories. It's going to happen. And you will find a lot of things that were cherished at one point in time are not so important to you anymore, and there's kind of like a de-escalation, if you will, of those items. So when you get there, just recognize that's going to be part of the process, because in most instances, you're not maybe moving up, you may be moving down. And more specifically, even if you're moving up, you may be moving up with someone else, and you still have to accommodate their needs of their space and their stuff as well. Anyway, as a project manager on a personal basis, the same concepts and techniques that you use for managing any other project will apply to your project of managing or moving your home from one place to another. Thank you for joining me this episode of Coffee with Cornell. You take care, and we'll see you next week. If you like this episode, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon for future notifications and give me a like. We'll see you next week on Coffee with Cornell.